On Thursday, the first day of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the West paid Russia about $500 million. That's the average daily value of purchases of Russian energy by the European Union, the United Kingdom and the United States. As the conflict continues, the daily flow of cash has remained about the same. Europe, in particular, is effectively financing Russian aggression, the destruction of lives and livelihoods, and the creation of a massive refugee crisis. Why? The short answer is that the West has been slow to recognize the full danger of Russian President Vladimir Putin's intentions. For millions of Ukrainians, the continuing flow of money is fueling tragedy. The strength and weakness of Russia's economic position is evident from its foreign trade statistics, which were analyzed in a working paper published this month by the Bank of Finland Institute for Emerging Economies. Most of Russia's exports are oil, petroleum products and gas, $240 billion in 2019, and more than half of them go to the EU. The rest of Russia's exports combined, $48 billion, amount to less than the value of its gas exports, $51 billion. China buys 28% of Russia's oil, but only 5% of its petroleum products and about 1% of its gas. The EU buys almost 64% of Russian gas and the UK buys an additional 5%. To be sure, disconnecting selected Russian banks from the SWIFT messaging system used by financial institutions to facilitate transactions worldwide will make it more cumbersome for Russian companies to be paid for European energy deliveries. But payment through telex, telephone, other networks or third parties provides fallback options. The obvious solution is to stop paying for Russian gas altogether, or to pay into an escrow account until Russia withdraws its forces from Ukraine. The Russian reaction presumably would be to shut off deliveries, but Europe claims to have enough stocks to get through this winter, so this is partly about the costs of preparing for next winter. Those costs are likely to be high, because any disruption to world energy supplies typically drives up the price of oil or gas, or both, which would presumably affect the EU, the US and the global economy more broadly. It would also complicate the central bank's task of controlling inflation. But policymakers have dealt with bigger issues, including the COVID-19 crisis in 2020-21 and the global financial crisis in 2008. Germany's energy strategy has relied on Russian gas since the 1960s. But although deliveries proved reliable throughout the remainder of the Cold War in the aftermath of the Soviet Union's collapse, it is no longer a sustainable arrangement.